serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is The Man Who Ate the Town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 158 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of June 22nd through the 28th, 2020. My name is Tim Beeman.
And I'm Leah Metz.
And we are opening the recipe box. Yeah, and that's what it sounds like when we open it. We are recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town at my house. We are practicing social distancing using Zoom, sponsored by Bull's Tavern. Bull's Tavern is located at 408 West 4th Street in downtown Winston-Salem. She's been doing some work on the floor. So when she's able to open back up, it's going to look a little bit different. And you won't be, my 300-pound rear end always felt like I was falling through the floor. So they have fixed the subfloor and everything. So it's all going to look good. And they took the wood. Daniel, you appreciate this because I know you're into woodworking. Had all the plywood and then took a torch over it to bring out all the grain.
Nice.
Yeah. So, just so you know, we have Daniel Butner from Carrabba's Italian Grill here with us, and he's going to talk about something here in just a few minutes. But yeah, so go visit whenever they're open again. Visit Bull's Tavern here in Winston-Salem. Many of the restaurants that have been closed over the past few weeks have reopened after quarantining. The list of dine-in restaurants is growing. I still question if it's not too early in some instances, but I also question if not allowing it is the right course of action as well. I struggle with a lot of that. I will say that my son and his girlfriend and my wife, Stephanie, had dinner or lunch, a late lunch at Carrabba's yesterday for Father's Day. Thank you, Daniel, for making sure everything was socially distanced for everybody in there. The whole place, I was surprised as many people was in there, but I never felt like I was encroached upon, and it was fantastic. And all the employees were masked, and the food was fantastic, and yeah, it was a great experience. So I will say, and I'm not saying this because they're my sponsor, and I'm not saying this because Daniel's my friend. I'm saying this because it's true. Carrabba's knows what the hell they're doing over there, and the experience was fantastic all the way around.
Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome.
Good deal.
So Finnegan's Wake announced that they will reopen their dining room this week. We're going to keep an eye on their social media because that's what they have instructed us to do. Of course, you can find all this information on the Winston-Salem Strong and Man Who Ate the Town websites because the list is the one and the same. So you click on the restaurant guide, you're going to get my website. So on the Winston-Salem Strong website, so it's the same thing. We are in this together. I found out, Leah, today that Francesco's has their own Facebook page finally. It was made in May, and they were touting that we have our fresh new Facebook page, but it's not been updated since May. So it's not really any different than their unofficial page that we had been following before then. So, but you can see the new page on the list if you go to there.
All right. Well, I mean, it's a new beginning, I guess.
I guess it's one of the places we'll definitely go when we start our thing. Go ahead.
I'm still some of the pages I'm checking, their last post was 2011. So hooray for May.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple of those as well. And I told you that they took down the post of the owner as a homewrecker on that one page. So I'm glad to hear that see that they took that down. I went this past week to the BLL Rotisserie Factory for the first time ever, and they've been there for 20 some odd years.
What?
Yeah, I know. And I finally got to meet Simon or Simone, or I think it's Simon. That's why everybody was calling him. whose videos I've been following and sharing for the past few weeks. He's a great guy. I had the cheesesteak and the hot chips. I think cheesesteak is one of his top sellers for lunch anyway, and it was the cheesesteak itself. The steak was tender and seasoned with nothing more than salt and pepper, and that's all you need. The basics. And the
That's my go-to place for a steak stromboli, man. You got to try that sometime.
the steak stromboli. Well, I told him there's so many things on that list that I've got to go back and try, so I'm certainly going to do that. And he had high praise for you too, Daniel.
Oh, we frequent.
Yeah. And with the cheese on there, the gooey goodness, I just loved it, and I thought it was a damn fine sandwich, to be honest with you. If you've not been there, you really need to try his food. The menu is extensive, and I plan on trying much of it, especially now the steak stromboli. I've got to have that. That's definitely on my list this week. Same day I went there, I drove all the way out to BFE to Baked Just So, and had their oatmeal cream pie Sammy, the lemon bar, and the Irish cream bar. And I will be honest, I had the lemon and Irish cream the next day after being in the fridge. So the ice cream was a little bit stiff, but the flavors were still fantastic. Yeah.
Did you leave anything on my front doorstep?
Yes, I did, but I ate it after I dropped it off, so I couldn't leave it there.
I see how it's gonna be.
We should have done a handoff like we did for the In-Town Donuts. I do wish. I mean, Stacy out there, she does a great job, and for people who don't know, if you know where Pablo tried to open Atelier out on Robin Hood Road, and he opened it for one day before his world came crashing down. She's in that spot. And like the spot on Trade Street, I hope that they saged the hell out of it. So
We can hope. We might go over there in another week or two and just do that for her.
yeah, yes. But I really wish they were closer. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes for me to get there from my house, but it's worth that trip for sure. We do know now what is going in the closed Mary's Gourmet Diner spot. I knew it a week ago. A little birdie told me. Not that it was hard to figure out. I mean, that's what I figured was going to happen anyway, but I didn't have any kind of confirmation. I got confirmation from someone who knows, and then everybody got to hear from Michael Hastings yesterday, because everybody hears from Michael Hastings. And I have talked to Michael Milan of Mojitos, and he will be our guest next week. So
All right.
we will discuss more about Mojitos. It was, he still has the food truck, which I'm sure this will be the commissary for that as well. But we'll talk more about that with him next week.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy.
I think a lot of him.
So you have heard him talk a couple times today. We have here to talk about a new event and cause that he is behind, because when he's behind it, things happen. We have the owner, proprietario of Carrabba's Italian Grill here in Winston-Salem, Mr. Daniel Butner. And you get, sir.
That's the biggest crowd ever.
Yeah, our peanut gallery has grown.
Yeah, and I've been talking to you, and I've kind of waited to, I've been wanting solid hard facts a little sooner than I got them, but when we got them, and we're pretty much a go on this as of Friday, but we're announcing it live today at 12:10. So
Yes.
you'll hear it later than this, but here's where it gets announced. So, but before I get into that, a lot of people ask me, why I do what I do. And I just want to take a minute to basically explain. I have in front of me Carrabba's Italian Grill Principles and Beliefs. It's our guidebook. All the partners at Carrabba's have this, all the Micos, everybody that works for Carrabba's gets a copy of these, and we read them together. and it's kind of, you know, what we believe in and what we do and how we try and achieve things. And, you know, so what we do in Winston-Salem is one thing, but I want it to be known that Carrabba's does this all over the country. It's an amazing company to work for. They're incredibly vested in the communities they're in. And, but on one of the pages, our principle and belief for neighbors. Every restaurant actively participates in the life of its neighborhood. Carrabba's is a source of strength in times of crisis and can always be counted on to do our part to enhance the quality of the life of our neighborhood. We have one commitment to deliver to our neighbors. Active presence and support is being involved in our neighborhood and maintaining an active, visible presence in it. It is continually identifying and acting on opportunities to give back to the community, making it a better place to live, have fun, and do business. It is supporting our neighbors and neighborhoods in tangible and intangible ways. So to me, that tells me that in order for me to be part of this company and really do what this company wants, then I need to get out and do what I do. So, I mean, it's nice to have a company that backs and supports you in everything you do and encourages you to do it and gives you the means to. So I just wanted to share that real quick. So oftentimes I cruise through the internet looking for different things, you know, things going on. And I was going through Facebook and I seen this Restart Winston-Salem One Tile campaign from Soy Empanada. Heard good things about the group. And then I seen, you know, the Kumi group was part of it. And then Mayor Alan Joins and Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough were also involved in it. I'm like, okay, let me read some more. So what their plan is they're selling tiles on the internet. I shared with you the post to the Facebook Messenger. Mm-hmm. And each tile is $10. And what that does is it's going to be an investment into small businesses in Winston-Salem. So, you know, it's kind of like, you know, imagine if you go to the restaurants you want to go eat at and they're not there. You know, the place you buy your arts downtown is not there. This is trying to help them get that done. So then I looked at it and I'm like, man, this is awesome. I need to do something. So, you know, I could have put like $10 on a tile and that would have been cool and I would have felt like I'd done my part. But that's just not how I am. Yeah. So what I decided is I was like, you know what? I think Carrabba's can help do this because this is our neighborhood. This is our community. These are the people that we love and cherish. And my people depend on going to these places to make sure they can buy things that they want. So I contacted them and, you know, they were a little taken back because people don't normally contact charities saying, hey, I want to help you raise a lot of money. So we had a conversation and we worked out a lot of details and we've come to the conclusion that on June 30th, if you go, there's a website and I'll give you the link to that so you can share it on the podcast. But there's a website that you can go to and you can sign up. You will be able at that time on June 30th between 11 and 2, whichever time you select on the website, you'll be able to come through here, pick up a chicken marsala, penne pomodoro, and Caesar salad for $15 to go. Mm. So $5 of the dollars will go to help me pay for the food, but $10 of the dollars that is spent will go directly to small downtown businesses. And that's just to be clear and precise on, you know, I'm not a big fan. I believe charity should be extremely clear on where their stuff goes. So anytime I work with a charity, I make sure that I give them clarity on where everything's going.
Right.
So,
as everyone should.
Yeah, you're right. Right. But I mean, you know, these are my friends that, you know, are affected by this. These are people that, you know, I hang out with, I talk to, we call each other. I mean, sometimes later than they want to talk to me, vice versa. But, you know, I mean, it's a chance to help out, a lot of my buddies that need the help. And I mean, it's the more we raise, you can now, if you are a business and you need help, you can absolutely go on the website and register, and they will review your application. And I mean, if they can help you, they will. So I mean, it's multifaceted. So that's
Cool.
do y'all have any
So where
questions? Should I go ahead?
without me reading through the whole thing here, where do the tiles go?
The tile, like whenever you go onto the website, you'll see it's a virtual tile campaign, so they'll be there virtually.
Okay.
It's not really buying a tile.
Okay.
Although that's kind of a good idea. That might be step 2.
Yeah. Cause, in the past, I have done that. I didn't buy any of the bricks on Trade Street. I was a little bit
Right.
late to that game, but, I would have, so yeah. Okay.
I really like that question, but maybe we could look at getting some people to volunteer tiles and put the virtual tiles into a real tile thing. I mean, that's obviously not for me to decide, but I can definitely bring it up and maybe find some people to help make it happen.
Yeah.
I know people.
There's plenty of people who will, or places and businesses that will, screen print tiles.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
because my sister had some made for my mother for like coasters or whatever, had pictures of my grandparents on it. Yeah. So, I mean, but the problem, or not problem, the challenge would be finding a spot where you can put this. So, that would, finding a place that would be accessible to everyone, that we could put a wall of tiles on. But this is still a great idea. I'm not downplaying that idea. This is great. So,
And it looks like the tiles, so I'm on the website right now. It looks like the tiles are just kind of overlaid over the cityscape.
yeah.
Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Cool. And they'll just use it as background on their website, is what it looks like, or as a mosaic of some type.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Cool. When it on here, it says that their initial goal is for $20,000 to help approximately 40 small businesses in Winston-Salem.
Correct.
So that it definitely would be helpful to a bunch of folks. And there is an application on there where small businesses can apply for the funds.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I really like, because people apply for it rather than saying, hey, businesses can get this, and then it's a list of businesses they've selected.
Right.
So that's what, $500 for 40 small businesses? That's good. $500.
I mean, that'll buy your cleaning supplies to get back, or your PPE,
Yeah.
and I mean, it'll help a rent.
Yeah. Certainly. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, $500 can make a difference between somebody opens or not.
That's true. I mean, for the smaller businesses, it could be definitely, inventory.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like I tell everybody, it's not how much you give, it's that you give.
Yeah.
And $500, you're like, well, it could be more. It's like, okay, give more.
Yeah.
But I mean, and some people like, well, I want to do, but I don't know what to do. Well, this is your chance, because, I forgot one key thing. Whenever you come through and you donate, and you give the $15 to go toward the campaign, we will be giving you a $10 gift card to use at Carrabba's on your next visit. I forgot that part.
So like the thing when you did the thing for the
Mission to
cops. Yeah. Yeah. You're basically paying people to come eat and donate money.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's like the best of all worlds.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do it. Sorry about that. I had somebody pull up.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. You know, you pull up here, you'll get your meal, you'll get a $10 voucher to come in and use this restaurant.
Wow.
Nice.
So basically, you're paying $5 for a meal, and you're giving $10 to a charity to get $10 here.
Yeah. You're paying negative $5 for a meal on the end, plus you're giving to a charity.
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of cool.
Daniel Butner, you are an amazing person. I know it's not just you, but it is a lot you. So I know you don't allow yourself to take all that credit, but you should. And you are an inspiration to so many people, and it just helps that your food is that damn good.
You know, it's nobody can do stuff like this themselves.
Right.
It takes a village, and I mean, you know, it's like it's really amazing whenever you have the backing from the president of the company all the way to, you know, I would say the dishwasher, but the dishwasher is the most important guy in my restaurant. But
Yeah.
you know, it's amazing when you have, like, you know, the backing and the absolutely we need to do this, and you know, it's like, great job, and that's I'm just a little pawn in the chess game, and I mean, it's really, I can't explain it. It's just amazing to me.
Well, you're the pawn that moves first. so until that pawn moves, the game can't start, right?
Fair enough. I'll accept that.
Good. Yeah, it's just I've been impressed with not only you, but the whole Carrabba's model and involvement since I've known you. I mean, you know, I'm one of those that, you know, no chains, and you have changed my mind on a lot of that. I never from now on will ever call Carrabba's a chain. You are a family restaurant that happened to get big, and
Right.
you do that by involving not just money but resources to the community that's paying your way, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it's funny because, you know, you've met my family members that are, you know, I mean, when you were at Mission to Serve, you met my boss, his boss, and I mean, they were both here working just as hard as I was, having a great time, enjoying, you know, I mean, they loved it. They wish they could do more of these.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's the support, definitely the support from, you know, the support and the encouragement that we get from our superiors is everything. And, you know, it just drives us to do more in our communities, like what we do. So, you know, I mean, it's you know, my marketing manager lives really close, and I can call her at any time and come up with my harebrained ideas, and, you know, she brings it into where it's successful.
And she has a great birthday too.
Yeah, she shares it with you.
Yes, she does.
So that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's just to me, it's humbling to have all the support, you know, on both sides, above and below, of what we're trying to accomplish and get done. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Daniel, the date is the 30th. That's a Tuesday. It is. What's the times?
11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay. All right.
And it'll be drive-through.
Okay. I
want so many people here that I can't have them in the dining room.
Great. Yes. Yes. I have an appointment at 1, so I will make sure that for that day I schedule early.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I'll probably buy more than one.
Fantastic.
I will share. So, where can they find more about this? I will share the website actually for that, but do you have an event or anything on Facebook about it?
Not yet. We're going to, like I said, I was waiting to launch this All About You out here. So, in a couple of, after your podcast comes out live, I'm going to make a post with the link.
Okay.
So that way that it can be shared.
Awesome.
Nice.
I was wanting to give you all the glory.
Well, I appreciate it. I like exclusivity and as long as it's for a good cause, I don't want to have to scoop somebody if it's something bad. So
Right.
this is a great thing. So I'm glad I got to say it first, or you said it on my podcast first. So
Yeah, there you go.
can you hang around? You want to do some holidays and stuff with us?
Yeah.
All right. Leah, have I missed anything on the list or anything that you need to let everybody know?
Just the Sweet Tooth.
Is it Sweet Tooth or Sweet Truth?
Uh-oh.
I think it's Sweet Truth.
Might be Sweet Truth. Let me look. I'll know it's sweet. Oh, it is the Sweet Truth.
Yeah.
But it's for your sweet tooth.
Indeed.
Indeed. But they are back open and have posted a bunch of deliciousness in their pictures. So go check them out and get some cake and some cupcakes and all Sweet Truth over there. So they're back open.
All right. And West End Pokey has their patio open now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Dave's been talking about that for a while. So, all right. Well, here's your food holidays for this week. This is 6/22 today, and it's National Chocolate Eclair Day. If Ray was with us, who, by the way, Ray is in Florida at the celebration for his father. So we're thinking about you, buddy. But it's National Chocolate Eclair Day and National Onion Rings Day.
Don't eat those two things together.
No, they probably would not go well together.
No.
But you know what? I could see Ray eating chocolate covered onion rings. I can just see it. He will eat anything with chocolate on it.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to ask him next week if that is the truth.
Yeah.
Because then we're going to get some and do a video of it.
Make a note of that so we can do that. In 1633, on the 22nd, Galileo was forced by the Inquisition in Rome to renounce his belief that the earth revolved around the sun, because that's not what they believed. So he had to change his idea. In 1832, on the 22nd, John Ireland Howe received a patent for a pen making machine. I guess that's like stick pins.
Stick pin? Okay.
Yeah, not bowling pins. Different thing. 1923, on the 22nd, Manitoba repeals the Prohibition Act of 1916 and adopts government control of the sale of alcohol instead. Yeah, that sucks. In 1928, on the 22nd, General Mills came into existence with the merger of 5 milling companies, creating one of the largest milling companies in the world. In 1947, during the early evening, Holt, Missouri received a world record 12 inches of rainfall in 42 minutes.
Whoa. Did they go and build a boat?
I don't know.
Right.
Collecting them 2 by 2, I hear. In 1954, the American Chicle Company registered Rolaids trademark for antacid mints. I thought they were around longer than that, but that's...
Yeah.
In 1965, the Kellogg Company registered the trademark Pop-Tarts on today. So today is its, 55th anniversary? for Pop-Tarts. Tomorrow is the 23rd. It's National Pecan Sandy Day.
Can.
Yeah, pecan. You pee in a can, you eat pecans.
Glad you clarified.
Yeah. In 1626, on the 23rd, a large codfish split open at the Cambridge market is found to contain a copy of a book of religious treatises by John Frith, whoever that is. But they found it in a big codfish.
That would freak me out.
Yeah, I think me too. I would not eat anything else from that market.
No.
In 1868, Christopher Latham Scholes of Wisconsin patented a mechanical writing machine called a typewriter. It was as large as a desk made of black walnut and had black and white keys. He signed a deal with the Remington Arms Company for its manufacture in 1873. It was Remington who turned it into a more practical machine. And I thought the typewriter was around longer than that, but apparently not. In 1964, Arthur Mellon of the Wham-O Company of Frisbee fame patented the hula hoop.
Oh.
Sucker Proxy.
Yeah,
Have
that
you ever
was
seen that movie?
that was a good movie. I mean, okay, was it a good movie? I don't know, but it was an entertaining movie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The kid doing the hula hoop around his neck is my favorite scene in a movie ever.
Now I've got to go watch it again because it's been a while. In 1982, on the 23rd, a low temperature of negative 117 degrees was Fahrenheit was recorded at the South Pole.
Oh.
In 1993, on the 23rd, John Wayne Bobbitt does not appreciate his wife Lorena's expertise with a kitchen knife. Actually, I think he probably did appreciate it because it was a clean cut and they were able to reattach.
Sharp knives are important.
Yes. Had it been a serrated knife, it probably would not have been as clean.
Or if it had been dull.
Yeah, if it had been dull.
Those kitchen accidents.
Yes. In 2016, the United Kingdom voted in a referendum to leave the EU. The leave side received 51.9% of the vote, while the remain side received 48.1%. So it was very close. When we got married in Scotland, and 2 weeks after we got home, that's when Scotland voted to stay in the United Kingdom instead of separating out because they wanted to be part of the EU without having to change anything. And then a couple of years later, 2 years later, they voted to leave the EU. So, and that just finally happened earlier this year or late last year. So
Not sure.
I'm not sure of the year and I don't know what it would have been, but but the 23rd would have been my grandmother's birthday. My mother and her family get together either the weekend before or after every year to celebrate her birthday.
That's cool.
We lost her in 2008, I believe. But, yeah, she was a special kind of lady. And my cousin Megan shares the same birthday, so she says that all the family gets together to celebrate her.
Nice. Do they make any of Grandma's dishes or anything? Like any sweetness or anything?
No, they just basically have a cookout and celebrate. It's just my grandmother, as far as I know, she had recipes, but she wasn't the cook in the family. My Aunt Cindy was basically the one who did all the cooking. So, and they had it at her house, which used to be my grandmother's house. So that's where they all get together in West Virginia for that. So
that's cool.
On the I also wanted to say that my mom and my son and my nephew went to West Virginia last weekend not this past weekend, but last weekend for that celebration. And the reason we didn't have a podcast on Monday was my son actually graduated from high school on that Monday. So I wanted to spend the day with him. And Leah, I want to thank you for taking care of my side of the list that day so I could spend more time with him. So I really appreciate you and all that you do.
You're welcome. I figured it was a good weekend of celebrating between graduation and Father's Day and
Absolutely.
and all those things. So, and then of course your shirt is fitting. So
Yes.
just
Yeah. For the listeners who obviously can't see, my son got me, it's from Sam, the cooking guy, that says, if fat is flavor, then I am blanking delicious. And I like to say that because first time I ever saw that, I'm like, that's me to a T. So, on the 24th of June, it's National Pralines Day, which is a form of confection, typically of butter and or cream, brown sugar, and pecans. So we get 2 pecan things this week. When I was a kid, I did not like pecans at all. But as I got older, I liked them in some things. I love pecan pie. If it's done right. I've had some that's not, but I do love those. And pralines that I've had, I enjoyed those.
So my, I guess he's my brother-in-law, is a pie guy, and his dad's a pie man. And so at Thanksgiving, the first thing that you do is you go get your plate of pie, which there's usually 11 to 15 different pies.
Wow.
There, yeah.
Turkey be damned.
Right. You have pie for breakfast and lunch and dinner, and that pecan pie, man. That's the best one.
Yeah,
I can eat one myself.
Yeah, I'm a fan of pecan pie. On the 24th in 1374, an outbreak of dancing mania, sometimes known as St. John's Dance, there you go, occurred in Aix-la-Chapelle in France. People were overcome with bouts of uncontrollable manic dancing. Frothing at the mouth, screaming, and sexual frenzy were other symptoms. It turns out that ergot, a fungus, poisoning is now believed to have been the ultimate cause. So they tripped on some damn mushrooms, it sounds like. And,
sounds like.
And went kind of apeshit. So,
Nice.
yeah. So, yeah. In 1817, the first coffee was planted in Hawaii on the Kona coast on the 24th. In 1839, Gustavus Franklin Swift was born. He was the founder of a meat packing process business, Swift and Company, the inventor of the refrigerated railway car, and the first to ship dressed beef to Eastern markets instead of live animals. In 1938, about 6 o'clock in the evening, a meteor streaked across the sky in western Pennsylvania and exploded about 12 miles high over Chicora in Butler County. Only 2 small fragments were found, 241 grams and 61 grams. I don't do metric, so I don't know what that means. A cow was, huh?
Not big.
Okay. A cow was either injured or killed. Reports vary on that. And the original mass of the meteor was estimated at 450 to 520 tons. So by the time it got here and exploded, it had diminished greatly.
So you know what the difference between a meteor and a meteorite is, right?
No.
Okay. A meteor never reaches the ground. A meteorite does. That's the only difference.
Okay. So it's the same thing. It's according to where it goes.
Right.
It's like a
Where it
dove
ends
and a
up.
pigeon. It's the same thing. It's just what color is it?
Right.
On the 25th, it's National Strawberry Parfait Day.
Oh.
It's also National Catfish Day, and we'll talk more about that in a minute.
Nice.
In 1630, Massachusetts Bay Colony Governor John Winthrop supposedly introduced the fork to American dining. Everybody was, I guess, spoons and eating with your fingers at the time. In
Probably.
1951, on the CBS network, Pabst aired the first color beer commercial on the first color TV program. The public did not own any color TVs, and CBS only owned about 36 color TV sets. The hour-long variety show was shown in department stores, hotels, and auditoriums in 5 cities: New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. So they spent a lot of money filming that, but no one saw it, at least in color.
Do you think they put a disclaimer on the bottom of the screen that says this is in color?
Well, the thing is
all those black and white TVs?
I asked my mom one time, when did we all become color? I thought everybody was black and white back before that.
Nice.
In 1974, on the 25th, the first checkout scanner was installed in a supermarket. I'm not sure which supermarket chain, or if it was a chain, it's just there. In 1987, President Ronald Reagan officially proclaimed June 25th as National Catfish Day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you I guess you are a fan of catfish, Daniel, right?
Oh yeah. I love any fish.
Yeah.
I love catching fish. I love eating fish. It's good stuff. I prefer to eat what I catch though.
Yeah. At least you know where it was and where you got it from.
Yeah.
How about you, Leah? Do you like fish? No fish?
No fish. However, last week, 2 weeks ago, Mel and I were out kayaking on Salem Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy out there, and he caught the largest catfish this year right in front of us. And it was a big one. It was like 27 pounds or something crazy.
Jesus.
And it was huge. Like he pulled that out and I was like, what in the heck is that? And because you're like, this is odd. But yeah, we were there. We can say we were there.
When you first started that story, I thought you were going to say, well, Mel and I were kayaking and I just reached down and grabbed a fish.
Grabbed it out of the water.
And there it is. In the 25th in 2004, the last elevated train in Boston made its final run. And I'm kind of glad they did away with the elevated trains in Boston, because Boston, I think, is a beautiful city. Hate their sports teams, but other than the Celtics, but I like the way it looks, and I'd hate to think that it had trains running across the front. That Chicago could be a more pretty city if they do away with the L, but the L's iconic for Chicago, so it's not going anywhere. On the 26th, it's here's another one for Ray, National Chocolate Pudding Day.
Oh, you would like that one.
And it's National Coconut Day. I think you could mix those. Coconut on chocolate pudding, I think would be okay. On the 26th, in 1284, that's the earliest date in legend for when the Pied Piper led all the children of Hamelin away. We'll hear more about it, I'm sure, in July. So we'll save the rest of that for that. On the 26th, in 1797, Charles Newbold patented the first cast iron plow. Farmers had doubts about the effect of the iron in the soil. I think they were quickly convinced. In 1848, the first pure food laws were enacted in the United States. And there's still McDonald's, so I don't know how pure food laws work. So, let's see, where am I? In 1870, the original wooden boardwalk in Atlantic City was built. It was taken up during the winter months and replaced with a larger boardwalk in 1880, which was destroyed by a hurricane in 1889. It was rebuilt again, and in 1898 rebuilt with steel, which I think survived up until Sandy a few years back, which they have rebuilt again. In 1870, Christmas was declared a federal holiday in the United States. In 1919, the New York Daily News was first published. In 1959, in Montreal, Queen Elizabeth and President Dwight D. Eisenhower officially opened the St. Lawrence Seaway, which connects the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. In 1963, supposedly, John F. Kennedy said, "I am a jelly donut," when he said, "Ich bin ein Berliner," in a speech to citizens of Berlin. He meant to say, "I am a Berliner," or just "Ich bin Berliner." Ein Berliner means jelly donut. Now, this is a bit of an urban legend, and it isn't really exactly true. Doing a Google Translate search, "Ich bin ein Berliner" means "I am a Berliner," which is what he said. "Ich bin Berliner" means "I am from Berlin." Many historians and linguists have said while the phrase "Ich bin ein Berliner" can be understood as having a double meaning, it's not wrong to use it the way Kennedy did. Ein Berliner is a type of pastry in Germany. So that's why people said he was saying he was a jelly donut. But that's not exactly what happened. The people in the crowd knew what he was saying, and they lost their minds. So in 1974, on the 26th, at 8:01 a.m. in the Marsh Supermarket in Troy, Ohio, cashier Sharon Buchanan scanned a package of Wrigley's chewing gum with a barcode printed on it. This was the first product ever logged under the new UPC code, or UPC, because code would be redundant. It stands for Universal Product Code, Computerized Product Recognition System.
UPC code's on the double mint.
Was it double mint?
I'm just saying.
No.
Redundant. So.
That's right. I got you. I get you. I hold on.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So in 1981, in Mountain Home, Idaho, Virginia Campbell took her coupons and rebates and bought $26,460 worth of groceries. She paid only 67 cents after all the discounts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I bet
Would that be considered hoarding?
Was it considered what?
Hoarding?
Hoarding? I don't know.
That's a lot of groceries.
You go to see all that. Yeah, I'm sure she donated a lot of it, but can you see that book? You go to the grocery store and see those people with those big, huge trapper keepers full of coupons and stuff. I bet she took a satchel.
Now you make fun of that. However, I was one of those people, and the game of it.
Yeah.
I had laundry detergent. I had enough laundry detergent, and I spent like $1.60 for like 2 years worth of laundry detergent. Yeah, Rite Aid. Rite Aid is the best place for couponing, or was.
You get those double coupons and
that long ticket with all the $1 off.
Yeah. Well, that's what the big joke is always with CVS. You could have a Miss America sash made from those receipts.
Yep.
On the 26th in 1990, a new record high temperature was recorded in Phoenix, Arizona of 122 degrees Fahrenheit. But it's a dry heat.
Right. Still hot.
Yeah. Hot is hot. The oven's usually hot too. It's dry.
That's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat, but you touch it, it's going to be hot. On the 27th of June, it's National Orange Blossom Day. It's national, and we get good honey from that. National or International Pineapple Day. And again, onions this week. It's National Onion Day on the 27th. I used to hate onions. Now I look for things to put onions in.
The Moravians used a lot of orange blossom syrup in their recipes.
Did they?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was one of their secret ingredients.
Oh.
So I guess
At least the rest I got.
at the at the bakery, then they use a lot of their.
Yes.
Cool. On the 27th in 1615, the first tea is imported to the West. I'm not sure exactly how they are delineating the West, but it happened. In 1893, the New York stock market crashed. Not for the last time. In 1985, Route 66, which originally ran from Chicago, Illinois to Santa Monica, California, was officially decertified and removed from the U.S. highway system, having been replaced by the new interstate highway system. But you can still drive it ceremoniously, and they have places to stop and get souvenirs and all that stuff. And that's where you get your kicks, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Get your kicks on Route 66. On the 28th, it's National Tapioca Day, which I care not about at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's in 1846, Adolphe Sax obtained a patent for the saxophone, which he had invented a few years earlier. On the 28th, in 1887, Coca-Cola syrup and extract were patented 1 year after it was invented. In 1939, Pan American Airlines flew the first transatlantic passenger service from New York to Lisbon, Portugal. In 1988, the poisoned olive oil trial happened. The longest trial in Spanish history ended after 15 months. 1,500 witnesses were questioned to help decide who was responsible for poisoning 25,000 Spaniards in the toxic olive oil case. More than 600 died from the cheap olive oil, and thousands more were partially left paralyzed or suffering from other ailments in one of the worst public health disasters in modern history to that point.
Wow.
Wonder how they poisoned it.
I don't know. And it could be that it wasn't necessarily poisoned olive oil. It may have just had turned rotten.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't know who actually. It just said it ended, but it doesn't say who was found at fault.
I want to know who did it.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
The olive oil.
The olive oil. Yeah. Yeah, Popeye's girlfriend did it. Yeah. In 1997, boxer Mike Tyson bites a big chunk of Evander Holyfield's ear off in the third round of a boxing match, and he was disqualified for unsportsmanlike snacking, maybe. In 2007, the American bald eagle was removed from the endangered species list. Back to the Mike Tyson thing in 1997. So I was, that night on the 28th, I was playing at a little club in Roanoke, Virginia called the Coffee Pot. And the only reason I know that is because once we finished, we stayed in a motel there, and they were replaying that on the TV. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And in 97 too, Princess Diana died. I was on stage when that happened because they had TVs in the back and I could see it when I was on stage. And I notified everybody who was looking at me that it happened because I was looking at the TV. So, Yeah, so I know I was playing those times. Anyway, that's your food, holidays, and history for this week. Special thanks to James Ealer at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, wonder who poisoned the Spaniards.
So I actually went to Google because that's where I get information I like.
Yeah.
It was actually not olive oil. They substituted an oil instead of the olive oil, is what caused toxic oil syndrome.
Ooh. What kind of oil was it?
They didn't say.
Oh.
Dang it.
So the mystery continues. All right. Well, the Man Who Ate the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to Less Desirables, The Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Apartment 5B, Beeswax, Vinyl, and more, and Wheeler's Dog. You can find a new one coming all about the band Kiss. You can find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll also find social media links for each there as well. You notice I didn't mention Sipping NC because I don't know what's going to happen with that. Both Danielle and Jordan, who I was going to do the podcast with, have announced that one of them is no carbs and the other can't have alcohol anymore. So I don't know what we're going to do about that podcast yet. So we will stay tuned for more. We greatly appreciate if you visit our sponsors. Daniel, would you like to talk about Carrabba's Italian Grill?
I don't know. I like the way you ramble about it. It kind of intrigues me. I talk about it all the time.
It was located at 587 South Stratford Road, and this is no chain. This is a responsible family of restaurants. Carrabba's and their owners take very much pride in the communities they serve, and they take them very seriously. And for us, having a fantastic franchisee like Daniel certainly does not suck. Follow Carrabba's on social media and on Carrabba's.com. Do okay with that?
Better than I could have done.
Washington Burton Provision Company is located 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk. Chip Corner, a deli to get your sandwich on the go, local fruits and veggies, meat and dairy from local sources, Bingo Bango Sodas, who I hope to have on this show soon. He's now in the building. He's moved in and is now in the building that I have my studio, which I will be reopening on July 1st. Wolfie's Custard, a wall of beer and wine and more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk and at Washington Perk _DTWS on Instagram. The Humblebee shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. I've seen her car there a lot. I think she's back up and rolling. Mm-hmm. The smoked salmon things she was showing was looked fantastic. You've not had good until you've tasted the treats and goodies that Brittany is whipping up in her shop, be it muffins, cakes, macarons, and more. Many things vegan and gluten-free as well. The Humblebee shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram or visit thehumblebeeshoppa.co. That's SHOPPE.co. Usually Ray does that, so I had to fill in for him.
I can't fill in for him like that. Just let some dead air happen.
Yeah. Well, this is a reminder to all of our listeners, and it's just good practice, not just for now, but for always. Wash your damn hands. Wash with water, warm water, and soap. Wash with that soap for about 20 seconds or more. I said this last week, Sing Country Roads Take Me Home. Saturday, the 20th, was West Virginia's 157th anniversary. So, in honor of them, my home state, you should sing the Country Roads Take Me Home, at least the first verse and chorus, while you're washing your hands. Keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email at Tim or Leah or Ray at themanwhoatetown.com. You can also contact us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter Instant Messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are manwho8thetown. On Instagram, we are manwhoatthetown. And now we invite you to call and leave a voicemail for the podcast, actually any podcast on the TLD network. You can call 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422-NUM. There you go. Leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it on the podcast. Again, 336-422-NUM or 6862. Daniel, thank you so much for being here, and I'm sure I'll talk to you more than then, but I will go on here and schedule me a time early on Tuesday, and I will post this information on the show notes for this podcast, and I will promote anything that you post about it.
Perfect. I appreciate that. I'm really excited, and I want to see us do a lot of good for them.
Yeah, I do too. So
we're in this together, neighbors helping neighbors.
Exactly. We are in this together, and exactly. So my name is Tim.
And I'm Leah.
I'm Daniel Butner.
Yes, you are. And we're closing the recipe box, and it's loud. Yeah, it is. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.